to you. There's plenty of cake and you're going to get it. But for now, I want us to do something, and I'd like us to
Francis.
Alright, so for the photo opportunity, let's all just be lined up near here. Yeah. So we'll all be visible somewhere. So ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to now officially have the sawmill open. Why don't we just clap like you normally do? Open! Wonderful! Yes! Yes, yes, just like the bank. Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. That first ceiling, the air goes all the way and it's directed to the radiator. Then it goes up, basically circulates. That end, the radiator will tell us this one. And you can see your problems. These are the problems telling you about. So they basically sense what. And you will not, when you make now, first you don't use the
we settle in and settle down, we'll be ready to begin. Apologies again for starting a little bit late as per the program, but we shall catch up with you. Thank you. So we're going to be starting in just about 2 minutes or so. I promised you that. Now I know I said 15 and we didn't start in 15, but in 2 to have temperaments. Therefore, it looks like the weather has suddenly changed and it's very warm. But hopefully we can keep you cool enough as we continue. My name is Michael. That maybe you need in terms of orientation, if in case you need the bathrooms or anything. If you have any questions, I'll be walking around, so you're free to just engage and let me know where I can help. I shall do that. Okay.
We shall support this investment because it creates value to our farmers. It will transform the economies of this county, and it will also transform the Kenyan economy. We know Kenya is having deficiency in terms of supply of timber, and as a result of that, we've been receiving imports from neighboring countries, but this is going to encourage farmers to put more effort in forest conservation and the commercial tree farming. Nyandarua, we have a forest cover of over 21%. We intend to increase it. I have had an opportunity to visit this factory and also moved around to the nursery and even visited some of the farmers who are already engaged and they're working with this company. So I want to encourage other investors who are here today. Nyandarua has a lot of opportunities. We want to assure you of security. We want to assure you that we will also ensure that all the necessary requirements, legal, licensing, and others are addressed in a speedy way so that you can set your investment in Nyandarua.
Of course, the Kamauza investment partners, the Kamauza leads, the Kamauza people have all played a role in it. I mean, if you really think about this setup, a group of people of 5 or 6, and I must just mention this, there were 4 ladies and 2 of us, Charles and myself, we were the only men on the team. We had no say in the matter, and that's why it's so excellent. You should give the ladies a hand of applause because really they've done a superb job. As stakeholders, we all are very keen to understand the value chain. Of course, this operation, the raw material that you see here comes from smallholder farmers. In the ethos of Kamauza, smallholder farmers effectively get value for their trees. We are planting far more trees than what we are harvesting to enable us to have a sustainable operation, never ending. So really a superb effort to try and get low value eucalyptus into high-end products. At the end of the day, we cannot do this with people, and there's a lot of support to give to everybody. My family, for the first time, have been to Kenya. Thank you for that. And really, it's really good to have everybody here. Thank you very much.
KEFRI has the mandate of producing quality tree seeds for this sector, for restoration, for commercial purposes. And the ministry and the government has also given us the mandate to produce the same tree seeds for the expanded 30% tree cover in this country. And for that, the same government of Kenya has provided KEFRI with funds to establish tree seed centers in the country so that our stakeholders can access tree seeds nearest them. Although our work at the moment is focused on 18 tree seed centers, we are hoping and praying that we get resources to establish a seed center in the 47 counties of this country, at least, so that seeds reach. So, Kamauza, we have programs to establish and support tree production. When I sit here and look outside, I'm seeing logs. And those logs have probably taken a minimum 18 years, maybe from 15 to 18 years. And my forestry background tells me that you need to plan and plant and grow trees so that this factory will be sustainable. We are appreciating the work by Comasa. Allow me to also appreciate the belief and the people who will make this happen. That is small-scale farmers. Please clap for them. I don't know how many of them are here. The very fact that they believe that trees can grow, and they have grown them, and they grew them long before Comasa came in, long before Kefri came in, long before anyone came in. We want to appreciate that aspect, that there are people who will be the foundation of this work. We have worked and depended on the Kenya Forest Service. In fact, most people, when they think about commercial forestry, their first mind comes to the Kenya Forest Service. But we're also happy to know that Kenya Forest Service is willing at all times and has very specific programs to establish and support commercial forestry.
I would say that our mandate is very simple and elaborate as Kenya Forest Service. We are the lead agency that is tasked by the government of Kenya and the people of Kenya to protect, manage, and conserve all our public forests. Today, we have about 2.5 million hectares of public forest. We are also tasked by the Constitution to work with the county governments like Nyandarua to be able to support them and give them advisory, to be able to also empower them to do external services and also manage their forests within their jurisdiction. And that we also are tasked to support the farmers and the private sector in providing advisory at every time. In 1990s, we had a program called Meeting Mingi Mashambani. That is the one that actually drove a lot of tree growings around the landscapes of Nyandarua and even Nakuru County. Some of the trees today you are harvesting are from such initiative. And that's why I want to describe and say it has to be government, that is public, private, people partnership for it to succeed. It has to be public-private people partnership. To acknowledge that we last year did an assessment nationally to know where we are in terms of forest cover and tree cover, because we also believe in numbers and statistics. What cannot be measured cannot be planned. And we did that assessment, and nationally, our forest cover stands at 8.83% from 2018, when we were at about 5.9%. That's a good growth. Let's clap for ourselves. The tree cover, which is a good component, and it is actually speak to the agenda of the day. The tree cover of the country now has surpassed 10%, and now we are 12.13%. That is a good indicator, and that's the first assessment to assess the tree cover. The reason why this is important, and especially because this facility is located in Nyandarua County, and Nyandarua County today stands at about 27% tree cover, it's because we also hope after 5 years we will come and make an assessment. I truly hope that the founder of Comasa, as we continue making the soup and cooking it and making it, after the assessment, we will expect to see that the tree cover has not been affected negatively by this industry, but actually it has been affected positively. So today the government can measure. We have the baseline. Comasa, we have the baseline now.
I promise. I said.
Thank you so much. So, so we'll come back in 5 years and just assess another tree cover and see have we been able to ensure sustainability of this factory, but at the same time, continuously grow and green our country. That is our aspiration. And not only for you, but other people. But I want to single out some of the firsts that I want to acknowledge Comasa for. In this country, we have about not less than 1,000 forest industries. These are sawmills across the country. As a Kenya Forest Service, we can only be able to produce about 2 million cubic meters of wood every year from our annual avocado of an average of 5,000 hectares per year. Within our total population of commercial forestry plantation of about 150,000 hectares. The country today demand of timber, if I'm not wrong, is about 45 million cubic meters. We can only feed into that by 2 million. The deficit today cannot be less than 15 million, including the import, 15 million cubic meters of wood. Therefore, the market and the demand cannot be a barrier to the growth of this industry. However, you have chosen a very good path. Many of the other industries, and I want to challenge them, is that they have purely developed their conceptual model of establishment on public forests and public plantations. That when we have a problem and a challenge like today when there's a moratorium, they almost close shop. But that should not be the case. This model that you have used is a game changer. It is what would have a paradigm shift to the way we look at forestry business. And I personally feel that you have connected with and complemented with the aspirations of the Kenya Forest Service. And therefore, I feel that by allowing the farmers and creating incentive for them to grow trees commercially, and that when they harvest, they can be able to see that they are be able to finance their own needs. And at the same time, you're also making your profit. At the same time, paying your taxes to the government. It will complement the entire cycle. And we have to make sure and do everything possible as a government, as a Kenya Forest Service, to protect this industry and ensure that you continue to operate sustainably. We cannot, even if the moratorium will be lifted and it shall be, supply the needs of this country. I wish all the other players would build their sustainability model based on the outgrower scheme, where you engage the farmers, provide them with finances or link them to financial support for them to be able to grow trees and widen their scope. I also want to thank the investors, because I know to invest such amount requires money. And we know financing forestry has been a challenge. Financing forestry development proposals has been a challenge. This is a game changer. And also as a country, we must challenge ourselves. We must become sustainable. I think as society, we have changed in a way, and we have become a bit selfish and very short-term. Is it not my daughter? Sometimes we look at future generations as something which is generic, but it's our own children. And therefore, we must be able to become sustainable in our mind, in our thinking, in our attitude, if we have to green this country. And therefore, this factory and a sawmill business provide that sustainability model that we can be able to convince our farmers to be able to plant trees.